I'm Kimberly, and welcome to As I've Seen It. Today I need to go back to the well. It's been 30 something days since this new administration has started. I need to go back to the well. The other reason I need to go to the well is I haven't heard music for the resistance yet. I haven't heard music for the protest. Remember during the 1960s, 50s, 60s, during the civil rights movement, those people who marched also sang, "Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me." They were serious. We know they sang "We Shall Overcome." They sang all sorts of things. The music that they sang, Negro spirituals, those are a deep part of my well. So, in honor of Black History Month and in honor of generations of ancestors, let me tell you just a tiny bit about Negro spirituals. Several years ago, a young Frenchman who I met in London, who was an aspiring rapper, asked me, he said, "Kimberly, what can I do to learn more about Black American music?" And I said, "Oh, you need to go to church." He looked at me like I was crazy until I explained. The African American Church is a repository for centuries of African American music. Yes, I said centuries. An African American church with lots of good music has songs that go all the way back to our earliest ancestors coming across the Atlantic Ocean. For example, the Dr. Watts, sung in churches north to south and east to west. The text of the Dr. Watts that I learned as a child was, "I love the Lord, he heard my cry and pitied every groan. As I live and troubles rise, I'll hasten to his throne." From the time that I was a toddler, my earliest memories in Grandma's church, I just remember a deacon, usually, would stand up and all he had to do was this. I, and the congregation would stand up and start singing with him. He did what was known as lining out. He would speak or sing the phrase, and then the congregation would repeat it. And it was a long melody with many notes on each syllable. I'm trying not to go into music speak and say melismatic. The words come from an English hymn writer, Dr. Isaac Watts, and they were published in the early 1700s. But the music, the melody, traveled across the ocean with my enslaved ancestors. That melody is ancient. In addition to bringing all of this music with them, they used what they remembered from home, the rhythm, the improvisation, and created a whole new body of songs. Some of those songs they wrote from scratch. Some of those songs they took pieces of a hymn they might have heard. They took pieces of something they might have heard at home, and they created something completely new. What we do also know is that this music played an integral part in their lives. They sang a lot. And that kind of led to the myth of the happy Negroes singing in the fields. No, they sang. They sang to preserve their sanity. They sang to preserve their health. They sang to uplift themselves and to uplift each other. The great Bernice Johnson Reagan, author, scholar, singer, who was a founding member of Sweet Honey in the Rock, she wrote of the power of collective singing. See, Ms. Reagan was part of the Civil Rights Movement. She was part of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And she wrote about how they all felt after they sang something together. The transformative power of group singing. That's something the ancestors passed on to us. And that transformative power, that power of group singing, still exists in the Black church today. Although there are hymnals in Black churches, much of the music is passed down by rote, the way our ancestors taught it to their children who taught it to their children. It was illegal to teach slaves to read and write, and so music was passed on this way, and is still passed on that way today. The music my ancestors learned in Africa, they learned collectively, they learned in their villages. When they were transported to the New World, plantations became the new village. After emancipation, I posit that black churches became the new village. That's where people gathered. That's where they came together to pass music on to the next generation. So when it came time for people like Bernice Johnson Reagan and so many thousands of others to march through the streets, to go to sit-ins, to become freedom riders, they reached for the music of the ancestors. They reached for the music of the slaves to sustain them, to hold them together. So my question is, what is our music? I argue that singing is necessary. I say that there's an entire body of music already in existence that people have already used for protest. We can pick up where they left off. Thanks for watching.